Hello everyone, Jeff from RespawnStudios.com here with part 1, or episode 1 as it's called in the game, of Alan Wake as a full walkthrough. So I hope you're ready for about 47 minutes of commentary, because that's what you're in for. This is my all-time favorite video game, and I've decided... I originally did have a walkthrough of this up, but it wasn't really commentated, and I ultimately took it down. I didn't think it was that good. That was in like October, and I took down all videos from then. So we're going to do it again. I've beaten the game, I think, 27 or 28 times. You see here I have all 67 achievements. There are 2 DLCs that I think each had 8 achievements. I'll try and point out a lot of the main game achievements as we go through each episode of the game. But if there are any additional achievements that you want to see a video for, or get any tips from me in the comments below, feel free to leave that in the comments or to message me, and I'll try and help. Alright, so let's enter the game. One of the things that's going to kind of suck is that once you pick up the collectibles, at least the coffee thermoses and things in the game, they disappear. So you won't be able to see any of them, but I'll try and point out where many of them are. There are 100, and there are 106 manuscript pages. There are also 30 chests. Believe 25 signs. I think that's all. Alright. Yeah. And then in the DLC there are some item collectibles as well. There are cardboard standees, there are alarm clocks, there are Night Springs video games. And you might also know about, or only know about, because this was kind of an underrated game, the arcade game that's a sort of sequel to this, called Alan Wake's American Nightmare, where Alan's literary agent, Barry Wheeler, who's one of the funniest characters ever, and you'll get to see him a lot in this game, has this sort of nightmare where Alan, his client, is in the world of one of the episodes he wrote for a show called Night Springs, which is basically the Twilight Zone. And you get to watch 6 episodes of it during Alan Wake, the main game itself. But that arcade game, Alan Wake's American Nightmare, you actually play the story that he wrote for one of the games, but it also then interweaves with the story of the main game, sort of picking up where it was. So I guess I'll just give you a brief synopsis. Alan Wake is a action adventure game. I guess it's also horror. It's not like a pure horror game in the sense of Silent Hill, but there are a lot of scary things to it. Alan Wake writes horror novels, and one of the ones that you don't remember writing, you pass out for a week in this first episode. And then you wake up, obviously, that week later, and you find manuscript pages. That's what they are. Those manuscript pages, that's what they're of. A horror novel about you and your wife and the people in this town. And you don't remember writing it because, obviously, you had been passed out that week. So you have to find out what the hell is going on. You're a somewhat famous mystery horror writer, but you haven't written anything in a couple years. So your agent Barry tells you to take a vacation to try and get rejuvenated. So you come to this city called Bright Falls in Washington State, it seems like, or Oregon area. I don't think they specifically say, but it's the American Northwest. They allude to that a lot. But the game starts in a recurring nightmare Alan has been having, where a character that he had written, a hitchhiker that was hit by a car, comes back to life. And the character speaks to you as a character, saying, how dare you kill off characters like they're not people, saying he's going to kill you. And you feel this urge to get to the lighthouse, feeling like that would be a safe haven. So we're working our way toward there. That's one of the main things with the game, a play of light and dark. That's how you damage enemies. Okay, but something to point out right away. I've already passed the first coffee thermos. Right when you start moving after doing the light check, looking up at the spotlight, before you come over here, if you go left past the next light, there's a covered bridge, and it's broken. But right by where the bridge like drops off, there is a coffee thermos. And they're kind of obvious. They sort of glow. So it's kind of hard to miss that first one especially, but I just wanted to point that out. So this is that hitchhiker character. This nightmare level also kind of serves as the tutorial for the game. Here it's teaching you how to dodge, and then later you're going to learn about using light to damage the darkness, and then also how you can damage and ultimately kill the enemies, which are called taken. Because they look like the actual people, but they've been taken over by darkness. And the darkness isn't just something that possesses people. It could possess objects and move them. It could be like a free moving force, like you see darkness tornadoes a few times. And throughout the game you find out why there's this darkness and what is its origin. So I'm not going to spoil anything right now. We'll find out along the way. This way. I think I actually have some guides up in the channel still of the coffee thermos and manuscript page locations. And I think I also have a short, like minute-long achievement guide to kill 2 enemies with 1 shotgun shot. And I also, in the exact same spot from that video, in this walkthrough, I would have gotten the achievement again because I set up a situation showing you that it's quite easy to do it there. So I'll point that out when we get to it. I'll also try and give you some tips and things I've learned from beating the game a lot, and some things you might not have noticed. Right here, this character Clay Stewart. Sorry. If you pre-ordered or got the special edition, you got a pretty amazing hardcover color book that's Clay Stewart's journal. He was having similar nightmares about a lighthouse and this town, and also Alan Wake was in it. And it's all of his accounts of what happened in Bright Falls, what he saw. So that's really awesome. Otherwise, you're like, who the hell is Clay Stewart? It's just some guy you run into in this nightmare and he's immediately killed. Who cares? But if you got the limited edition, there is all that backstory. It's a really cool book. And that's probably the best thing about this game. The quality of the story and the pacing of the story is very good. A lot of people overlook this game. It's crazy. Everyone loves their Call of Duty and Madden and Gears of War and all of those, and they're all pretty good. But the best games are often ones that you wouldn't try. They're not the most famous AAA franchises. Like, this is the start of a new franchise. They better make Alan Wake 2. And L.A. Noire, a lot of people overlooked that or said that was terrible. Well, Grand Theft Auto isn't that good. L.A. Noire, I think, is 4 times better than Grand Theft Auto. And it's made by Rockstar. Though it was developed by a company in Australia, it was the finishing touches and a lot of the pushes to do certain things came from Rockstar. The other company was called Team Bondi, that they actually are sort of broken up now because they had internal feuds. But anyway, back to Alan Wake. This is more of the tutorial. This guy, well, you're hearing a voice from this ball of light, and he's explaining all of these things that make no sense to you. He just read a poem off to you. And now he's explaining you can't hurt the dark enemies. One of the other collectibles that I hadn't mentioned before, there are can pyramids. There are 12 throughout the game. They're like beer cans stacked on top of each other, 4, 3, 2, 1, like bowling pins. But obviously vertical instead of just horizontal. But anyway, there are 12 in the game, but you get the achievement called Carney for only shooting 5 of them. And I think I actually have an achievement guide up for that now that I come to think of it. But again, I will point out at least 5 of them. I think I only have 8. That's the one collectible, one thing in this game I don't have everything in. I have 8 out of 12. I've also played this game on 4 of my friends' accounts and 4 of my other accounts when I was thinking of starting a new account. Alright, so the combat. You first have to use a flashlight, flare, a spotlight, some sort of light to take down what I guess is essentially the enemy's shields. You'll know because you'll see that circle and it'll get smaller and smaller, and then when it bursts, you know their shield's gone, and then you could damage the enemies. So that's what they're explaining right there. There's a box of unlimited pistol ammo. Over there to my right, before that rock, on that fence, right behind where that enemy spawned, the first enemy, is where the can pyramid is. So don't try and get it during the battle with the first enemy, but once you kill him and once you can move on your own, be sure to look for that pyramid on the fence before you come to this area. Alright, so there was that one enemy on the bridge. There are 2 here. This little thing right here, I guess, is a strategy to point out. Enemies often come in groups of 2, 3, or 4. And it's not best to try and bring down the whole shield of one enemy because the others will probably get run up right up to you and hit you if you don't move back and forth between them. Because when you shine the light on them and start to break down their shield, they stop and move back. So it's a really good thing. Right there, this little building, there is another coffee thermos in there, so be sure to get that before dropping down, otherwise you'll have to redo this area. Okay, the flare gun I picked up in that emergency red box, and it is the best weapon in the game by far. It can kill, I think, up to like 5 or 6 enemies if they bunch up. So try and hit a central enemy. Here I'm using another shot on a single guy because I know that there are no more enemies after him in this prologue. But yeah, that gun is amazing. There's achievements for a lot of different guns. For pistol, I think it's get 100 kills. Shotgun, 50 kills. Hunting rifle, 50 kills. Flare gun, I think, is 50 kills. And flashbangs, which you could throw as weapons, which instantly kill most enemies, is also 50 kills, I believe. So here, when you're running across the bridge, you pretty much know where it's going to be damaged by the barrels. So go to the opposite side of the barrels as you're weaving around. Alright, where I'm going to look over here on the right, on that bench, is a coffee thermos. So be sure to get that before coming in the lighthouse, because this ends the nightmare sequence. So it was right by the flotation device, the lifesaver, the ring. I was right by the bench by that. Alright, and now we see the beautiful healing light. And that will end the prologue nightmare sequence of Alan Wake. And again, there are tons of collectibles. I'm going to point out as many as I can, but I'm sure I'll forget a few of them. Another thing, that's your wife, by the way, Alice. The faces aren't the best in this game, but the voice acting is incredible and the story is incredible, and the environments look really good. The graphics in general are really good, just the faces are kind of eh. Oh, so the thing I was getting to a few seconds ago. If you want to see guides that aren't by me but are still awesome, for the manuscript, I think they actually cover all collectibles. It's the Rooster Teeth guys, Jeff and Jack from the Red vs. Blue Machinima series, but they also run their division called Achievement Hunter. And if you type in like Achievement Hunter or Rooster Teeth, Alan Wake, you could find them. I think there are 7 or 8 guides they do to include all collectibles, which are the radios, which I already forgot to mention, the chests, the manuscripts, the coffee thermoses, all of that. The TVs, which I didn't even mention, there are so many collectibles, and they cover all of them in order, so that is also good. But feel free to use the first couple parts I did of different ones too. So now you are on the ferry. We're back to reality. Alice told you to go over by this man so she could take a nice picture with the town in the background. And I'm going to move the right thumbstick a bit to show different awesome perspectives to show off the graphical prowess of this game. The guy who's speaking to you right now is Pat Main, who's a local radio host, and he's basically asking you just to come on the show and talk because you're a celebrity. And you're saying, I'm on vacation, I don't really want to, I'm here to get away from all that.
Any chance I could get an interview? Look, Mr. Maine, I'm on vacation. In fact,
Yeah, just look at that view. It's amazing. I love this game. The game is separated into 6 main episodes, so each part of my walkthrough is going to be an entire episode. And the episodes are generally divided between a daytime sequence, which begins them, and then a dangerous nightmare sequence where you have to fight enemies. I think it's episode 3 actually has 3 different sections because of how the story plays out there. All right, and now we are hearing from our awesome agent, Barry, the first time. We get how overprotective he is and also how he knows you were sent out here to write again, and he wants more things to publish, so you both can make more money. He's also very much about that. But he's also a very, very nice and funny guy. And he eventually becomes even more involved in the game than phone calls. So that's a mini spoiler alert. Though I already kind of said that earlier.
Barry is Barry. I can always turn off the phone.
What did I tell you?
And your wife's always been kind of hesitant about how overbearing Barry can be. But you say he has good intentions, he's just looking out for you. You might notice a guy at the back of the ferry. Keep that in mind. Alright, so now we have arrived. And we have to go to a diner to meet Carl Stuckey, who is the owner of a gas station. And he has the key to the cabin where we're going to be staying.
Alan, thank you for coming here with me.
I love you too. Go on. I'll promise to behave.
And she's saying she's going to pick up a few things. So you're like, all right, I'll get it. And here are some other characters. You see there's a cardboard standee of you. They're called cardboard standees. I know some people just call them cardboard cutouts or whatever, but I'm going to call them that because that's what they're called in this game. Here's one of your biggest fans in the world, Rose. She's a waitress at the diner. There is a park ranger because there's a national park nearby, sitting at the bar, Rusty. There are 2 older guys in a booth, Tor and Odin, mythology names, but they're also members of a rock band that you hear some songs from, and they eventually become an important part of the game. Another mini spoiler, something to keep in mind. Here he's telling you to put the song Coconut on the jukebox. This is also related to an achievement. First, this is an optional thing. You don't have to do this. But to get the achievement, use the jukebox. And it kind of malfunctions here. So you have to use it again and hit A few times to hit the machine. And then in episode 5, you're actually here at night. And you run by this area. And you can choose to come into the diner. And then you can go over the jukebox. And when you hit play again, you get an achievement called Put the Lime into Coconut twice. I think it's called like Put the Lime into Coconut ... twice. So that's a play on the song name. And there was the last character, Cynthia Weaver, in the bar warning you not to go into the darkness. Dangerous things can happen there. And the bathroom is locked, so you can't get to where Stuckey apparently is with the key. But instead you run into this weird woman all in black that says, here's the key, and it's a special place. So if you needed any more creepy factor, all of it is embodied in this woman. And then as you're leaving, Cynthia Weaver also says you're lucky that you got out that time. Another thing to point out, right to my right, under that neon sign, was another coffee thermos. Though again, because I already have them, they do not appear. But I'm going to try and point out locations that are easily remembered by me, or things that I think I could explain okay. Alright, so now we have a key, and we are going to meet up with the wife, Alice.
Key and the directions.
My hero. I got some flashlights, just in case.
And if we needed any more aspects of Nightmares and a Weird Woman to the mystery, there is Carl Stuckey saying, wait, here's your key. So, holy shit, what key did we just get? And we're on our way.
Can you believe this place? This would make a wonderful setting for
The other piece of paper in the woman's hand was the directions to the lodge.
Figure it out when we get back home. Okay?
Okay, we can talk about this later.
So now Alan's talking more.
I didn't want to talk about it.
That was one of the reasons I first considered not to talk through most of the videos, because the cutscenes are awesome. I love the voice acting in this game. And also during the game itself, there are a lot of voices. Alan speaks a lot. He narrates a lot of what's going on. The manuscript pages, when you hit the back button and select them, they are fully narrated by Alan. And a lot of characters just talk. You could hear the radio stations, which add a lot to the game. So I'm just going to use this to help people with the game, and if you're doing it for another playthrough or looking for achievements. But if this is your first playthrough, you probably shouldn't watch me unless you don't care about spoilers. I'm bound to spoil a lot of different things. Just because I played this game so many times, a lot of it's second nature, so I'm sorry if I spoil things. I highly suggest you just get this game and play it. It's only $20 new now, I think, like anywhere. So just get it. It's amazing. It's also in Games on Demand. I think it might be 30 there, but it might be 20 or 1,600 or 2,400 Microsoft points. There's also one other... Oh, I'm sorry. When you start off this area, I looked back at that other path up to the car, because you can go up there and there is a coffee thermos. Alright, but one other thing I want to mention. Before the game came out, they made 6 live-action promotional videos for this called Bright Falls. And you could get them for free from the Xbox Live Marketplace, or you could look them up on YouTube. Type in Alan Wake Bright Falls, and you could watch them. They're a few minutes long, and they feature the same characters. And it's pretty amazing. All right, so here in the kitchen, I come over there because there is a coffee thermos on one of the counters. Over here is something that's easily missable, and it's just something else that adds to the game. It's books by Thomas Zane. And then here is our first collectible radio. I think there are 11 radios and maybe 9 TVs. I'm not sure of the exact count. Your wife has a terrible fear of the darkness. That's another interesting aspect of the game, with how much it deals with light and darkness. She has a big fear of the dark. So since the lights are off, she tells you to come over to this generator. And you just have to hit A when it's in the green range there a few times. And then that will actually be an achievement, a 10-point achievement, to turn the power back on. And now we start to head back to Alice after we stop standing around. I mean Gino, one of the other guys who's going to be putting a lot of videos up. That's why I wasn't moving there. And if you want to look closer at that stump, there's carved a heart, and it has TZ and BJ, LOL BJ. But those are the initials of people that eventually you'll find their importance. So another mini mystery spoiler. I think I accidentally skipped a few second cutscene there where Alan's talking about the island and what's going on. But it's not too central, and you can't hear it anyway. I'm sorry. So now Alice is calling you back into the house. So you come upstairs for a surprise. You see jeans on the counter. She's like, uh-oh. Let's make sexy time. But if you come into the bedroom, she says, I'm not the surprise. And you don't even have to come into the bedroom. You can go directly up the stairs into this other room, which is the actual surprise. And it's a typewriter. She brought blank pages and a typewriter so you could write. And Alan flips out on her, saying, this is not why we're on a vacation. I don't want to bleep, bleep, right, bleep, bleep, bleep. No, he doesn't curse that much, but he has that tone. He didn't come here to just write. He's on a vacation to get away from it all. So they have this heated argument, and Alan storms out. You might have picked up on the two flashes there of a person. Might make you think of the flashes of a person in Fight Club. Tyler Durden. Though Alan does not have another split personality, I'm not saying that's the spoiler at all. It's not, but if you weren't able to pick up on it, I just wanted to point that out. Uh-oh, the lights went out at the cabin, and now Alice is screaming, Mother of God. So, you're coming back to ideally just get some light to Alice, but we're going to find it is not that simple, as these dark black birds, crows or ravens, probably crows, attack us. Ravens are about 50% bigger than crows, I think. Though if you're a bird person, you probably think I'm an idiot. That's probably way wrong. But here's the cutscene. We get in, and the rail is broken on the deck, and Alice...
Oh, no.
Oh, God. So you immediately jump in with your flashlight. Badass. Uh-oh, what the hell? So this is what I mentioned early in the video, where you wake up and a week has passed and you have no idea what the hell happened. This is that part. You are bleeding. You are in a smashed up car, your rental car. Or maybe you actually drove the whole way. I guess that makes sense because it was on the ferry to this town. Though you're from New York, that's quite a long drive. Maybe you rented it at the airport and drove it here. Anyway, we are now in control. This is the night sequence, in essence, of episode 1. So there's going to be a lot of action coming up. And all of these things throughout the game that you could hit B to examine, I don't really think any of them are necessary to advance the story, but a lot of them add to the story. There are more things about the characters or situations that help you understand it more fully and give you more cool details. So there is a book by a guy, then you remember that you don't like his smug face. And we're going to find out how important that guy is. And how all of these crazy things are going to interweave. Well, there goes the car. No saving that. And if you're scared, like some people might be for whatever reason, since you have no weapon or light, there are no enemies until you have those, so do not worry.
Hello? Someone there?
Speaking of scared, Gino signed on. He always screams during horror games. But in this cutscene, we hear that same voice from the prologue, and he's giving you these manuscript pages to help you understand what's going on. And this is what you were working on in the week you were passed out, it seems, because this is how you wrote. So when you pick up these first 2 manuscript pages, it prompts you to hit the back button. And when you hit A on each one, you could listen to Alan narrate them. And they're things that either have happened before, are happening right now, or going to happen during the game. So keep all of that in mind if you're going to read them and look at all of them.
Anybody there?
My favorite manuscript page is another mini spoiler. I think it's in episode 2. The last line of it is, and then he heard the chainsaw. That's so awesome.
The lights up ahead were
Alright, so a pretty nice waterfall, but over here we notice a light, so maybe there's someone that can help us. But since you know it's kind of a horror game, who the hell is going to help us? Here's a convenient log that smashed the fence, so we get to crawl over.
Anybody there? Hey! Hey, you!
Alright, a cutscene.
There's been an accident. I need help. Listen, I need to...
Cabins for rent in.
Oh, well, that's not good. A guy pulling an axe out of someone else. Oh, Carl Stuckey. That's the guy that we were supposed to get the key from, but didn't. And you might notice the swirling black mist around him. And that means he is taken over by the darkness. So he's now a Taken. So we have to be careful. I've never actually waited a while here. Oh, there's a coffee thermos by this truck. That's why I came over there. But it seems like if you wait a long time, Stucky might actually drop down and kill you in one of these sections. So try and keep moving. I think he does actually just drop down here anyway, so be sure to keep moving. And there was another manuscript page in the ground there. Be sure to pick that up. And run into this little hut. Sort of here's Johnny. Camera angle there. Homage to the Shining movie. And the Stephen King book, of course. Up. Pistol. Flashlight. You see the Energizer name. Nice plug right there. Though there's really only Energizer and Duracell kind of thing, so not too many third-party batteries in the world. Most people know them, so. Alright, so you come over to the phone, and even though you didn't pick it up, you apparently have successfully dialed 911. Maybe you have it on speakerphone, but I thought you would still have to have the receiver off, but whatever. It's fine. And they say Bright Falls Sheriff Station, but then the line is cut. So whoever's outside, cut it. And here comes a machine to smash the house we're in. Great. But smashing into it opened this door, so you're able to drop out before it's pushed over the cliff. Holy God. And now as you approach this gate, it swings open, and there's going to be 2 enemies. Our first real enemy battle, other than the prologue. Just another general strategy tip. Anytime your battery starts to drain down, you could see the number next to the lightning bolt. That's how many batteries you have. You could hit Y to put another battery in, and just to point this out, that is the first collectible chest. You'll know they're nearby because you see this spray paint, the sort of yellow spray paint, and it leads you to it. But anyway, if you don't want to worry about using batteries, you could hold down left trigger to zoom in, which does more damage to their shield, but don't feel free to do that the whole time because that also drains it faster. So you might have to let go and just let it point at them, which still does a little bit of damage, but it'll even charge back up while you're doing that. So if you have, say, even no batteries, that's a good thing to keep in mind. Maybe zoom in at them for like 2 seconds, then let go and just keep it pointed at them so they stay back a little bit. And then maybe as they run toward you, point it at them again to push them back. Something like that. Also, before you drop down here, that hut I looked up to on the left had another manuscript page up past that machine. You have to walk through the bushes a bit. It's on the wall of that little hut. And here, I was thinking before, as this actually happened, I screamed that I was just going to say, and I just wanted to show you can die here, but no, it's just me being an idiot. I fell off the log. I think I was also looking at my computer, more I am as of Gino when I walked in. I can't believe, I didn't even remember ever falling in here, so I showed to myself that you actually can. But you walk across this log, we're going to have to cross this river where we saw that waterfall earlier. I was zooming in up there because there is a coffee thermos on the rock up that way. Over here on the right, across these logs on the rock, you'll see the glowing manuscript page. So be sure to pick that up if you're going for the collectibles or you just want a little bit more of the story. And we're going to keep moving forward. We hear some crazy ramblings of the possessed Stucky now and then. They're kind of funny because they're usually related to car things or different things because that's his profession. But they're also kind of scary because they're crazy. Alright, and now we're going to have to fight a couple more enemies. I'm playing on normal difficulty. There is normal, hard, and then nightmare, which you unlock for beating the game on any difficulty. On normal, those standard enemies take 2 bullets to kill. On hard and nightmare, I think they take 4 each. I want to point out that ladder. If you climb up there and go up a bit, there's a hut with our next collectible chest with some good items in it. But it's on normal, it's not really too hard, but if you're going for the collectibles, that achievement, it is up there. Okay, so the stairs are broken, so we have to find a way to get up top. We're going to have to turn on power to move logs to create a bridge. Here's where we find the powers off. There is another coffee thermos over here on that rock that I'm pointing toward. Now back here by the generator, there's going to be 3 or 4 enemies. This is the first kind of difficult battle. Just be sure to keep your distance. And you remember you have the whole range behind you. If you need to back up a bit, that's fine. Again, if you want to use the strategy I generally use, just look back and forth between them to keep all of them back a little bit so none of them get too close. But they can also throw some axes at you, so be careful for that. And another generator pole, always hit A when it's in the middle of the green. Or in any part of the green, really. Alright, you can just go back, but first come in this hut. There's a manuscript page and also our first shotgun. It only has 2 bullets in it, but there's going to be a shotgun ammo pack coming up. Okay, so now we are running back up to the switch where it said there was no power. And you're going to have to use the thumbstick to move the logs in the top part of the screen between these 2 stacks of logs to create a bridge. Alright, now we climb up the ladder right behind us. I think you can really just walk onto the logs here, but it can also sway. So just to be safe, I always jump onto it and then jump off of it, because I feel if I run, I would fall. So just to be safe, we do that. Alright, another bunch of collectibles coming up here. I already passed the area, I have to look back at it. Our next set of, the next can pyramid, so the second for the game, is on a table right there. But again, it's gone because I already got it. So you can use the shotgun or flare gun or whatever to shoot them, to break them, but always use the pistol. Don't use any of your special ammo. So there was the shotgun ammo on a ledge, and also our next radio collectible. And then back there, in that little dilapidated hut, is the next chest with a couple items. There's our next manuscript page in the path, so a lot of collectibles here. And you can listen to those radio broadcasts. They're pretty cool. They add a little bit to the story. You can also, once you've unlocked them, listen to them in the menu in the extras section under playback. Radio, I think, is maybe the top option. So I'm hearing enemy voices here. That's why I'm spinning around to make sure I'm not ambushed. You might notice a manuscript page up there in the path. Be sure to take out these enemies so they're not hitting you and throwing things at you while you're trying to do that. And then I don't go over there, but over there on a ledge, like right before you would fall off. There's two kind of rocky ledges, otherwise it's just bushes. The first, and I think, now I'm confusing myself. There's at least one coffee thermos over there, but there might be one on each of the rocky ones, but I think there's only one. But anyway, that's not the way forward. Up here was. Alright, so you might have noticed that spray paint. There is a box back there, up on a raised rock. So that's the next collectible chest. And now this is the section where I suggest you go for the achievement, 2 for the price of 1, which is to kill 2 enemies with 1 shotgun shot. And here I'd point out, just because it's one of the first, like the first real encounter we have even after getting the shotgun, I suggest first using your flashlight to break down the shield of all of these enemies, and then try and get 2 of them close to each other. And then bam, that would have been the achievement. So you see the little save icon on the bottom left. That's when it would have popped. You could even take out the 3rd enemy and then just worry about lining up the other 2 for a while, if that would make it easier for you. And here's more shotgun ammo. If you already have a gun and there's another, I guess, gun of that gun, another piece of that gun. Wow, I'm sounding like an idiot. Just another, another shotgun for that. It doesn't like replace your shotgun. It just gives you a couple more bullets, is what I'm trying to say, as I'm sounding like a complete moron. But also in that hut, be sure to hit B on the TV. That is the first collectible TV. You could also watch the little show. And then be sure to pick up the manuscript page on the path. And we have another achievement right here. This is our first boss battle, in a way. This is Carl Stuckey. There's also, I think, 5 or 6 regular enemies. But if you saved, like I did, the other flare gun shot, you could first hit that, hit him with it, and it takes down his shield. And bosses have way high shields, so hitting him with that takes away his shield. It's awesome. And then just shoot him with, I think that was 8 pistol shots, and you'll get a 10-point achievement. I think it's called Nordic Walking. Alright, so I'm taking out the other regular enemies. And there's also going to be a coffee thermos where I was just looking on the side of that construction machine. Right there. Alright, and now we are starting to wrap up episode 1 of Alan Wake. So I really hope you have been enjoying this, or at least finding it useful. Because I will make all parts of this. I know I have not finished my Catherine of Dragon's Dogma walkthroughs. But they just didn't seem to be that popular. So I'm going to do something I feel very passionate for. And I'm at least going to make the videos for myself, if not to help other people. So feel free to like the video, leave any additional questions in the comments, or if you'd like to see any more specific achievement videos, let me know and I can try and put those together. Alright, now there's going to be a manuscript page right there. There is where you learn that you were passed out for a week. Over there, right by that left price sign, is a coffee thermos, and where I was looking down the road is another manuscript page. Here is another TV. It's crazy. So many collectibles. And then just inside here, in this sort of store section of the gas station, hit B to read the sign. And this is the first of 25 sign collectibles. One other thing I'd like to mention before the video ends. There are, I guess, 93 manuscript pages that you can get on normal. There are 13 that you have to get on nightmare difficulty. They only appear in that. And one of the nightmare difficulty ones is on the back of the gas station, on like the bathroom door. I like that they show her ass there. I guess that's like a dad ass joke or something. I don't know why they do that. Maybe this is like who you're going to fall in love with. They're indicating it that way, but they start by showing her butt. So this is a cop in the town, and you called the police, and they've now shown up. And you explain that you're staying with your wife at a cabin, and she explains to you that there is no cabin where you're staying. it's sunk under the water after a volcano eruption. She's like, what? I'll take you there. So then she takes you there, and there is no cabin. What? Inception. So that is the mystery that begins the crazy, awesome game that is Alan Wake. Where the hell were we staying? Who was that woman? And what is going on? All right. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you for watching. And I should be back with episode 2 in the next couple days.
A candy-colored clown they call the Sandman tiptoes to my room every night.